that bot right there.
Dropping into the AO. Enemy UAV overhead.
Why is he back there, man? Crap. This is a bad drop, boys. This is a bad drop.
Primary objective.
So I want to jump into the class a little bit here. As you guys can see, I am running the Grau and the Guard 1. This is probably one of the most overpowered combinations that you can have in the game. In terms of the Grau, I am running the Monolith Suppressor on the Grau, as well as the Tempest Archangel. So this is very interchangeable as well. You can run the Tempest Archangel, or you can run the Nexus. I do find the Nexus is actually a little bit better in terms of the close combat fights. However, if you are trying to go for those long distance kills with the Grau, this is probably your better choice because it does increase your range, accuracy, and control. Now, I definitely want to make sure you guys pick the RXRK Boy 2. It gives you that sprint to fire speed and that ADS speed, which is extremely beneficial in a game like Warzone when you're running and you're trying to get to a location B, or you're trying to revive one of your teammates and all of a sudden a whole squad appears in front of you. You want to be able to ADS faster than they can, which is aiming down the sight speed. That's essentially getting your gun to your sights faster than they can get their gun to their sights. Now, you do want to run the 60 mags, and for the longest time, I was always interchanging this with sleight of hand. However, the 60 round mags is just super beneficial. You're able to actually wipe out an entire squad with 60 rounds if you're very accurate on your shots, and you can actually have that potential, the capability of 1v4ing or 1v3ing into trios or squads in the dire situations that it comes up. Now, the Commando foregrip is something I do run just for that aiming stabilization and the recoil stabilization. This is more for, I would recommend this for more for PC players, and I would recommend going with the TAC laser for the Xbox or PlayStation players. I do find the TAC laser is a little bit unforgiving, as if you're in a squad game or in a trio game and you're aiming down the sight looking at a doorway, it kind of gives away your location. If you can follow the laser when you enter the room, you can follow the laser and actually end up killing you. So the laser can actually be bad. However, most of the time whenever you do use the laser, you're only going to be attacking a specific person. So in that regard, the laser is absolutely beneficial. However, I am going to be going over more of a ghost class, so I do run that Commando foregrips to make sure I hit all my shots on the Grau. Now, the Guard 1 is a secondary weapon, and this is something I would consider taking over, let's say, like a rocket launcher. However, if you don't have this specific Guard 1 unlocked, which is one of the best secondary weapons in the game, I would definitely recommend taking the RPG. As much as I personally hate fighting people with RPGs, they are extremely amazing weapons, as they can one-shot you with full shield, and they can also explode vehicles, and the vehicles at the moment in time are the most overpowered things in the game, as they take a lot of shots to kill. And if an RPG can shoot a vehicle down, they can wipe an entire squad out, a squad of trios, and you can make them rage, which is always a benefit. A combat knife is something you can run as well, just for those quick kills. However, the amount of times you're actually going to get that close to them is very, very little. So I definitely would not recommend going. So the cold-blooded, it's a definite. There is no other perk in here that would be a little bit more beneficial. The only one I could say is double time or scavenger. You do run out of a lot of ammo really quickly, and there is a lot of dead players on the ground. Now, usually when you do see a dead player, they're going to have ammo, so this is kind of pointless. EOD, you do take a reduced damage from non-explosive kill streaks, aka this would be used for against an RPG. However, the amount of times you actually get RPG'd in a game is very little. It does happen from here to there and you actually end up dying. However, the amount of the times cold-blooded saves you is tenfold over EOD. Now, double time, it is something I have considered taking over cold-blooded. Especially, I would recommend this maybe for PC players, because for a PC player, movement is everything. They're able to move much faster, as their aim sensitivity is much more increased compared to the Xbox or PlayStation player. Now, overkill, this is the big controversy. It's between Ghost and Overkill. Overkill allows you to carry 2 primary weapons. If you do end up running Overkill, you can actually not run the Renettis, and you can run maybe a sniper and an AR. The issue I have with running Overkill, especially on your first loadout in Warzone, is that Ghost is 10-fold better than Overkill in your first loadout. This is, as you guys can see, you're undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors. And those are the 3 most important things in that game. I use drones frequently to search for players. I use UAVs frequently to kill players that are lacking in their loadouts. I use heartbeat sensors. The heartbeat sensor is my baby. It is everything in the game. So if you are gonna if I recommend any perk, even more than cold-blooded, the most recommended perk in the game, and it's Ghost. Even if you're the best player in the world, Overkill can still get you killed by a bot or a guy that's just camping in a bush, because they have more information on your location than you know about them. The more information you have in a game like Warzone, or a game like PUBG, or a game like H1Z1, you're gonna have more knowledge, and you're gonna have better overall kills. You're gonna have better overall stats. So I definitely recommend taking Ghost. High alert, definitely not recommended. You'll see pretty much when someone shoots you, it's gonna be too late anyway. Appointment, all members of your team earn more money from completed missions. This is actually kind of decent for a specific person to run in a squad, but again, you have to have a pre-made squad to do this. So definitely, if you're gonna be solo, or if you're gonna be entering a fill squad, a fill trio, definitely go for the Ghost. You don't have to rely on your teammates if you run a Ghost. Now with Amped, you can also, so this is very interchangeable. I mean, tune up, you reduce your revive time by 25%, and again, especially in squads, this could be very useful. Tracker, as much as I love Tracker, I don't recommend running this. Usually, most of the time, you can hear where the person is. It's not worth it. Spotter, this can help a lot if you're trying to find the campers, and you're trying to see, like, hey, where's the claymores? Where can I avoid this? It does actually prevent you from dying quite frequently. Battle Hardened, especially really good for basically EMPs and gas effects. It is actually really good for Warzone, but again, it's not recommended to take over something like Amped. So what Amped does is switch to your rocket launcher reload speed, or it's basically a faster weapon swap and a rocket launcher reload speed. So if you don't want to run the Renettis, you can run the rocket launcher, and it actually reloads your rocket launcher really, really fast. So sometimes, especially in squads, I will run an RPG over the Renettis, just because the RPG is so amazing in those close quarter fights. And as much of as the gun is broken at the moment, it should be used in most loadouts. I would recommend. And then your lethal, this is something, it depends. If you want on your first drop not to go for that claymore, and to go for like a Molotov, a proximity mine, a thermite, or even a throwing knife for that quick kill, these would be probably better for your first loadout. If you're confident that in your second loadout you're able to pick this or sniper up and get the claymore for your secondary weapon. Again, some of these are going to be really useful in the beginning of the game to go for kills pretty early on. You always have a heartbeat sensor. Now, when you land in the game, you do want to go for a smoke grenade always. Smoke grenades are the best. If you throw a smoke, reviving your teammate or buying a loadout, that gives less information for the other enemy players. Let's say they're camping a loadout. You're actually able to get a loadout really quickly, get out of that smoke, and end up killing or 1v3ing the entire squad or trio. So I would definitely take the heartbeat sensor and then the smoke grenade, pick it up on your loadout, or not the loadout, but any drops that you get. Make sure you take the smoke grenade over any other tactical grenade. And that is basically the loadout which you're going to be using to win every game on Warzone. You can win every game on Warzone, and I will be going over more strats in a later video, but this is probably the best loadout besides the Renetti. If you are more of a PC player and you know you can hit those shots, I would even take the Renetti over the rocket launcher, and you still get to go really quickly to your guard 1 because you have amp unlocked. I definitely recommend these 3 perks if you want to have the most wins in Call of Duty Warzone. Definitely recommend taking Claymore for your final loadout, and a heartbeat sensor. And this kind of loadout has gotten me 20+ kill games very frequently. It is one of the most overpowered classes that you can have for sure. So thank you guys for watching, and I will have another video very shortly on the best strategies to win Warzone. For me, I appreciate the disconnects, okay?